Daytona Beach, a place where racing legends are made.
Hey, this is Michael J with This Old Car, and hey, in this video, don't laugh, but the car in this video is a 4-cylinder, but could be found in many muscle car magazines back in the day.
The new Dodge Daytona Turbo Z, coming this fall.
You know, you could buy a Camaro Z28 or Monte Carlo SS, both with, 180 horsepower, and of course you had your Mustang GT at the time, pushing around, 175 horsepower? So, while things were improving over the late 1970s and early 80s, things were pretty well, boring. Meanwhile, over at the Chrysler Corporation, which was coming off a major reorganization after a federal bailout with Lee Iacocca at the helm, Dodge decided to come out with the Daytona Turbo Z on October 1st of 1983, and its sister car, the Chrysler Laser, which were introduced for the 1984 model year.
Lee Iacocca asked his engineers to build a sports car. Remember, the competition is good. We've got to be better. Make it fast. Give it fuel-injected turbo power. We did. From 0 to 50, Chrysler's new Laser XE.
You know, while GM and Ford cars all used carburetors, Chrysler delved into the world of combining multiport fuel injection and turbocharging for the first time. You know, for the time, these cars were really high-tech. An electronic navigator and electronic message center with voice alert were options that enhanced that claim.
Please fasten your seatbelts. Your keys are in the ignition.
In a stroke of brilliance, if you want to call it that, Chrysler engineers conjured up a Daytona, a snazzy spin-off of the K-car, but with a shorter wheelbase, all in the hopes of luring the young and the speed-hungry. And boy, did they hit the mark. The Daytona Turbo Z was a fuel-sipping little beast, boasting a cool 22 miles per gallon in the city and a whopping 35 miles per gallon on the open road, all while packing a punch performance-wise. This little four-banger could do 0 to 60 in a respectable 8.5 seconds, courtesy of a manual shift. With a modest factory price tag of $10,227 and over 27,000 of these babies rolling off the assembly line, finding one for a restoration project should be a piece of cake, if you will.
Ready? Set! Go!
So let's talk engine. The lone engine for the Daytona Turbo was a 2.2-liter, 142 horsepower, 4-cylinder. This engine was nearly identical in the 1984, 85, and 86, except for some minor horsepower differences and better electronics each year. The peppy engine produced 160 foot-pounds of torque. The Garrett Air Research Turbocharge supplied 7.5 pounds of boost at 6,000 RPM redline. Buyers could choose between the standard-issued 5-speed manual transmission or the Chrysler-built A413 automatic transmission. For 1985, changes were minimal for the Daytona's second year of production. The Turbo Z model was no longer listed as a package, but was now a model in its own right. But the biggest change was under the hood. The 2.2 turbo was given 4 more horsepower to 146 horsepower or 109 kilowatts. Optional Swiss cheese wheels were replaced with new optional pizza wheels. Total production was 47,519 units.
Dodge Daytona Turbo Z. It'll be an
Expressway to your heart.
There were several changes for the 1986 Daytona. The middle turbo model was dropped, leaving only 2 models, the base and Turbo Z. engine changes were also made, including a new 2.5-liter 100 horsepower or 75 kilowatt four-cylinder engine for the base model. A new T-roof package was also added to the options list. The biggest addition was the CS or Carroll Shelby suspension package, available only as an option on the Turbo Z. This package would foreshadow the Daytona Shelby of 1987 and beyond. Total production for 1986 were 44,366 units.
The idea was to build a performance-oriented front-wheel drive turbocharged sports car. The challenge was to make it stylish, exciting, and affordable. The result was the Dodge Daytona. And for 1987, Daytona hits the street with three styles that can best be described as hot.
For 1987, the Daytona was restyled externally and featured pop-up headlights. New in 1987 was a Shelby Z trim level with an available Chrysler-developed Turbo 2 intercooled version of the 2.2-liter Chrysler K engine. For the 1989 model year, the ES model was introduced. It featured silver contrasting ground effects along with snowflake pattern alloy wheels. Also introduced in 1989 was the AGS Carroll Shelby competition model. For 1991, the 2.2-liter turbocharged engine was dropped in favor of the new 2.5L high-torque turbocharged engine. Also new was the addition of an IROC model with either the 3.0-liter V6 or turbocharged 2.5-liter engine. Visually, IROC models differed from the lesser models, having a ground effects kit and alloy wheels among their differences. Even though all Shelby Daytonas from 1991 were considered to be IROCs. By 1993, sales of the Dodge Daytona, they slumped to only 9,062 units for 93. This compared to its 1984 debut with 49,347 units. Production of the Daytona ended February 26th of 1993 without an immediate replacement. Now, one could argue that the 1995 Dodge Avenger eventually took Daytona's place. What are your thoughts? Well, there you have it, the Dodge Daytona. Did you guys own one? If you did, we want you to leave your comments of what your experience was. We want to know. Hey, we've heard from some of our subscribers that they've been unsubscribed for some oddball reason by YouTube. So, kindly, if you're watching this video, can you please do us a favor and hit that subscribe button? It really helps us out. It helps the algorithm. It helps us, do more of these videos that we love to do. So subscribe, like, and hit the bell for any future notifications. This is Michael J. with This Old Car. We'll see you around.